Yeah, what is A and B?
X minus 5 and X minus 1.
And what do you think about M?
M, X plus 3 and X plus 1.
Perfect. So now let's add some complexity as well. So I'm gonna solve this question N, and you can check if I have solved it correctly or not. So this is my A inside the square. So I'm gonna write it X minus 4. That is my A. And I'm gonna I'm gonna write this 16 as 4 squared, and x plus 2 squared. Since I have two individual squares, so I'm gonna write them as a common square. So 4 and x plus 2 with the common square. So now I have this is something inside the bracket is a squared, something inside the bracket is b squared. So I'm gonna write it as a plus b that is a plus b, and a minus b is gonna be like a is x minus 4 and minus this time negative is important, and b is 4 times x plus 2, and then after I have these, so I'm gonna solve the left factor. If there is something positive before the bracket, just remove the brackets. So it's gonna be x minus 4, and 4 multiplied by x is gonna be 4x, and 4 multiplied by 2 is gonna be plus 8, and there is a positive sign before a bracket, so I'm gonna just remove these brackets. So that's my left factor, and let's use the distributive property for the second factor. So if you multiply minus 4 with x, you would get minus 4x, and if you multiply minus 4 with the positive 2, you would get minus 8, right?
Yeah.
And x minus 4, that's my right factors. And if we just add the like terms, I would get x plus 4x, these are my variable terms, and minus 4 and plus 8, these are my constant terms. And if I do the same thing, x minus 4x variable terms, minus 4 and minus 8 my constant terms. So I would get for these I would get 5x, and for these I would get positive 4, because the highest number or the bigger number is with positive sign. And for these x minus 4, so opposite signs, I'm going to subtract them and use the sign of the bigger number, that is minus 3x, and I have the same signs, so I'm going to add them and use the sign of the bigger number, that is going to be 12. Okay, that's it.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
How did you get 5x and negative 3x?
Yeah. So it's gonna be like I have what are the numbers? The numbers are x plus 4x. So I write the bigger number here on the top, that is positive, and lower number, the smaller number, that is 1x basically, and that is also positive.
Oh, so we don't write 1, but it's there.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay, now
it's gonna be 5x, and for the other side, you're good with this thing?
yeah, now I get it.
Okay, so 1x and minus 4x is a positive and negative. Okay, so I hope you are good with the n part as well. So are you good with the O part? Can you solve it?
Oh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me write it as 2 square instead of 4. So you just need to tell me what is A.
So A would be x plus 1,
Mhm.
and then B is
No, the
2
question
minus.
is no, that's incorrect. I'm just asking you for A.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so A x plus 3. I mean x plus 1.
How about this 2 square? So
So
if you see here, let's say this is x square and this whole factor is y square. Can you write it as xy whole square?
yes.
So we have something here that is 4 basically. So you write it as 2 square, that is al, you can call it x square, and x plus 1 is your y square, right?
Yeah.
So you first need to write the whole term, that's a in as a whole square. So I'm gonna write 2 times x plus 1 whole square. That makes sense.
Yep.
So instead of writing 2 individual squares, I need to write it as a total square. So something inside the bracket is a, and on the right side I would say this is your b.
Yep.
So 2 minus x, and if I use the colors, 2 minus x, and so we need to put everything inside one square. Okay,
Yep.
so now 2 is also included. Okay, so if you have any question that you want to try, I mean, if you can find a and b, all the questions are solved. So if you have any problem trying to find a and b, you can ask me.
Yeah, I need wait, sorry, what'd you say?
I said in all these parts of the question 4, if you have any trouble trying to figure out what is a and b, you can ask me.
What about for question H?
Yeah, that's a good choice, by the way. Okay, so let's go here. So the question is something the question is to factorize this question by using difference of squares, that is a square minus b square. So we need to locate a and b. So can you write 81 in terms of square?
9 squared.
So it's 9 square. Okay, that was pretty easy. Now this 9 is our a.
Okay.
So I'm gonna write it a as 9, and the next step is to find b. And can you write 16? Okay, there must be something here as square, right?
Yes, that would be. Wait, give me a second. Let me. 4, right?
So it's yeah, it's 4 square and x plus 1 square. So I have 2 squares, but according to the formula there should be only 1 square.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna write this one as, instead of 2 squares, 2 individual squares, I'm gonna write down them in as a total square. So 4 times x plus 1, the total square of them. Oops,
Yeah.
I made a mistake here. So I'm gonna write down it as here. Okay,
Yep.
so now I have 2 squares. So what is a?
So A is 9,
Mhm. And b
and then
is
B is 4, and then x plus 1.
4 times x plus 1. So if we have a and b values, and if you write that formula, that is a minus b and a plus b, just insert these values. So a is gonna be like 9, a is gonna be 9, right?
Yep.
And if you write, this time you write b, So it's gonna be minus b is 4x plus 1, and b is 4x plus 1. And you know that this side a minus b and a plus b is gonna be equal to a square minus b square. So if you continue solving this question, so it's gonna be use of distributive property here. So if you multiply minus 4 with the x, what would you get?
Negative 4x.
And do the same thing for 1, so it's gonna be same as minus 4.
Yep.
And 9 plus 4 with x is gonna be 4x. 4 with 1 is gonna be 4. So now let's collect the okay, it is a tradition that to write the variables first, so I'm gonna write it as minus 4x plus 9 and minus 4. And the same thing here, 4x, we don't use positive sign, and plus 9 plus 4. So if we just simplify them here, we would get minus 4x plus 9 and minus 4. They have the opposite signs. So I would have the sign of the bigger number, that is plus, and since they are opposite signs, we're gonna subtract them, right?
Yep.
So you would get plus 5 here, and 4x, both signs are same. We're gonna add and use the sign of the bigger number, that's gonna be 9 plus, and 9 plus 4 is what? 13, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So that's the solution of this H part. Okay. That makes sense to you?
Yep.
Okay. So I think we are good with these basic questions. Now let's go for application of this thing into some advanced questions. And yeah, before that, we need to have two more formulas. These are the two formulas. I think we had some ground for these ones, at least for the first one.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Have we studied this formula in our previous session?
I think so.
Yeah, there was something like a, and we made some squares, right? And we just added them, some rectangle, some square, something like that. So it's yeah, so a plus b whole square is equal to the square of the first term, square of the second term, and 2 times the product of two a and b. Okay. And if you see, okay, let's go for some solution of these questions. They are going the other way around, so I'm gonna make some questions for you on my behalf. So okay, let me copy the formula so that it is easier for you to apply.
Bless you.
Okay, so this is the formula that we're gonna use, and it's gonna be, I would give you the right hand side and you would be giving me the left hand side. Okay.
Are you making a question?
Yeah, I'm just trying. Okay, can you see one note here?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So Matthew, if this is the formula that we have, the left hand side is a plus b whole square, and the right hand side is just like first term square, second term square, and the 2 times the product of a and b. So if I give you a question, I mean the left hand side, can you give me the right hand side? If my a is x and b is y, Can you give me the other side?
So the other side,
Yeah.
so you'd have x squared
Mm-hmm.
plus 2xy,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, in the middle plus 2xy.
Perfect. So if I just change this question to this x plus 2, can you give me the right hand side? Just
All
forget
right.
this. Yeah, just forget this question. Yeah.
So first term, x squared,
Yeah. So we're gonna call it a squared.
a squared.
Mm-hmm. And 2 squared, and we're gonna think it as b squared.
Yep. And then here in the middle, you'd have
Mhm.
2 squared and then x and then squared. Oh,
Yep.
okay, you read that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and if we just simplify that, it's gonna be x squared, and 2 squared is gonna be 4, and in the middle it's gonna be 4x.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, perfect. So if I just change this question to like this, let me look some questions from the book, and x plus 3 and x minus 3. So I would get x plus 10. So if I just change this question to x plus 10, can you solve this question by using the formula above?
All right. So if we change it to x plus 10, all right. So you'd have x squared,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the other side you'd have 10 squared,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the middle you'd have 2x in the bracket and then 10x and then 10.
10. And then you just simplify that. So it's gonna be x squared plus 2 times 10 is gonna be 20x here, right?
Yep. 20x, and then 10 squared is 100.
Perfect. So these are the questions from the book that we would be having after that. So x minus, okay. So if I change this formula, that is, the formula is gonna be like a minus b squared. So it's gonna be like the square of the first term, the square of the second term, but there is gonna be a negative sign here when you do the product thing. That is 2ab. That's the only difference.
All right. Yep.
So if I have the same questions, let's say I have x minus y, can you open up this square?
So, all right. So we'd start off with x squared.
Mm-hmm.
So x squared minus 2xy,
Perfect.
and then plus y squared.
Plus y squared. Perfect. Let me close something. So it's gonna be y squared. Okay, so if I change this question with some numerical values, let's say x minus 3, can you open up this formula?
All right. So start off with x squared
Mm-hmm.
minus, so x squared minus 2, and then 3, and then x in a bracket, then plus 3 squared.
Perfect. And if you just simplify that, you would have like x squared, and 3 square is gonna be 9, and 6x. Perfect. So you are good with this formula?
Yes.
So let's go here, and now it's gonna be the other way around. If I have this form, you can think it like this is already given in the right hand form, that is a square plus b square plus 2ab. So can you give me the right the other side?
All right, so we have x squared and then 20x and 100.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be, it's always gonna be x. Like we're trying to get back to the
Yeah.
a squared plus 2ab plus b squared.
We are going to the a plus b whole square form.
Yeah. So then it would be x squared and
Yeah.
then plus 2x 10. So b would be 10.
Perfect.
And then you just plug that into the other ones.
Perfect. So this is the same formula but the negative version.
All right, so we'd start off with x squared and then 4, so we break that down into 2, so 2x, and then so negative 2x 4, and then it would just be 4 squared.
Perfect. So now I'm gonna give you a quick way to find that thing. So if this is the question, let's say the question is x. Okay, this is the smaller size. So x squared plus 20x plus 100. So we need to find this form, that is a plus b whole square form, right?
Yep.
And we are looking what is a and what is b. I think it is pretty straightforward to find a.
Yep.
That is x here. And can you write this 100 in terms of square?
10.
So 10 square, that's a b square.
Yep.
So it's gonna be x plus 10.
Yes.
So we just ignore this term for now, and we can directly find a from a square a, and we can find b from b square. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do the same thing here. So if you just ignore this term for now and write the other ones as a square and b square. So if I write x square as a square and this 16 as 4 square. So in a, yeah,
x minus 4 squared.
x minus 4 squared. That was easy, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's have some more questions, but with bit complexity. So what do you think about question number B? Can you give me the 2AB term?
All right, so we have, so in the original bracket, it would be x plus 4 squared. So in the middle term, it would be 2x 4.
2x2.
Oh yeah, 2x2, I mean.
Yeah. So beware of that. So what do you think about this question, G?
All right, for question G.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find the middle term. So the
hold on. First, we need to write a square here and
Yep.
something b square here.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 2x whole square. Now we have the a and this c as our b. Yeah.
So inside the middle term, it would be 2. Wait. So be
2 times 2x
2
and
2, right?
yeah, 2 times a and b.
Yeah.
Okay. So for this question, you might need to solve it on your paper. Take your time. I want this question to be 100% accurate.
Okay. All right. So that like the A term would be AC bracketed and then squared,
Perfect.
and then the 4 would be 2 squared.
Perfect.
So then in the middle term would have 2 AC and then 2 on the outside.
Perfect. 10 out of 10. Okay, so okay, now it's gonna be closing this formula. This is the expanded form. Like this form is a square and this one is b square and this term is 2ab term. So if I can close this term, this as a formula a plus b whole square, can you close this question A?
All right. Wait, so wait, what am I trying to find here? The A plus B?
Yes, a plus b whole squared.
Okay. All right, so we already have the A and we already have the B, so it'd just be x plus 1
Perfect.
squared.
Perfect. Lovely. And what do you think about question C?
All right, so here it would be x minus 3 squared.
Lovely. You have you are good. I don't know how to say it. You are getting your pace.
I know, thank
Yeah.
God.
What do you think about G?
All right, so G, so it would be, so the square root of 36 is 6 squared, so it would just be x minus 6 whole squared.
Wow. You take care of this minus as well. And what do you think about the last part, that is I?
So the square root of 81 is 9 squared, so the bracket would be x minus 9 whole squared.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, and can you do the same thing for these questions, like question 3, any part?
All right, so here a little bit different, but so for question A, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the like A plus B, it would be, so for 4x squared we can break that down into 2 squared, so 2x whole squared.
Perfect.
So inside the bracket it would be 2x plus 1 whole squared.
Yeah, that's correct, but I think there is something wrong in this question. Let me check it. So
Okay.
if we have this 2x as our A and plus 1 square as B, so it must have been 2 times 2x and 1. No, that's correct. That's gonna be 4x. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so let's go with some question number F.
All right, so here 3x squared, we can break that down into, so yeah, 3x whole squared, and then 5, we break that down into 5 squared. So inside the bracket, it would be 3x minus 5 whole squared.
Perfect. Lovely. So that's enough for this a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square. Let's go for a challenge question. What do you think about this? F.
All right. Okay, so here 64, we break that down into 8 squared, and then we have x squared there.
No, that is minus there.
Yeah, so negative x squared. So then inside the bracket, wouldn't it just be negative x plus 8 whole squared?
Okay, let me give you another example to point out. So if I have 1, can I write it as 1 square?
Yes.
And if I have minus 1 and I square it, would I get the same result as plus 1?
Yes.
So in the same way, if I have x squared, I still would get x squared. And if I have minus x squared, wouldn't I get x squared as well?
Yeah, so
So it would be like if I just write positive x squared here, it would be the same thing.
yeah.
So I think you said minus x as your a, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Perfect. So this minus x is gonna be my a, and 8 is gonna be my b. Okay, you did it. And okay, so now we're gonna move towards the this one here, that is purely factorization. That is a sum and the product thing. So let me give you some examples here. That these are the quadratic equations. So I'm gonna solve an example first, and then we will come back to that product and something. So choose any question, like easiest one, I would say.
A.
So x squared plus 10x, no, it's okay, let's make it negative, plus 9. Do you know the quadratic equation general form? The general form of quadratic equations?
A squared, isn't it a squared like plus a b squared plus c?
Yeah, it's a x squared and b x and c.
Yeah.
So x, the variable is always there. So plus 9, and I would say, okay. So can you find a, b, and c?
For that,
Yeah. A is 1, and
A is 1,
and
B
b
is
is
negative.
negative 10, and c is just 9. Okay. So let's apply this thing here for the question B. Can you find A, B, and C?
All right, so A would be 1. Oh, I mean 1.
Yeah, that's 1. Invisible 1.
1.
Yeah.
B would be negative 6, and C is 8.
Okay. So if I write a question here, can you give me the values of A, B, and C if the question is like x squared plus 5x plus 6?
So A would be 1,
Mm-hmm.
B is 5, and C is 6.
Perfect. So A is 1, B is 5, and C is 6. So the question is to factorize this form, but not using the formula, because we cannot use the formula, because we cannot write 6 as maybe if it were 36, we could have used that formula, that is a square and b square thing. But since we don't have a perfect square on the most right side, we cannot use that formula here, right?
Yep.
So we need to factorize this by using another technique, that is yeah. So I would write product and sum as P and S. Product is multiplication of A and C. So A and C, and the sum is equal to B. Okay.
Yep.
So what is A? That is 1. And what is C? That is 6. So my product is equal to 6.
Yep.
And what is B? That is 5. That is my sum. So we need to come up with two factors, two numbers you can call. If we multiply them, if we multiply those two numbers,
they'll equal 6, and if
okay,
you add them, they equal 5.
yeah, hold on for a second. Yeah, so we need to come up with two numbers. If we multiply them, we get the product 6, and if we add them up, we get this b. So if we multiply 3 and 2,
Times 2, and then 3 plus 2 equals 5.
perfect. So we need to split this middle term, that we can write this middle term as x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. You know that 3x plus 2x is just like 5x, and if you just multiply the coefficients 3 and 2, we are gonna get this 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we have these four terms, can you factorize them like by grouping them into twos? So first two and second two.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be like x times x plus 3, and from the second group it's gonna be 2 and x plus 3.
Yeah.
And the logic over here is, that's not logic but the test, if you get the same factors here from the both of the groups, that means you are going in the right direction. So we write this x plus 2 as individual factor and this repeated factor as x plus 3.
Yeah.
And now we have factorized this equation, so it's gonna be like x plus 2 and x plus 3, and this one is the first factor and this is the second factor. If you do the reverse, if you apply the descriptive property here, and you will get the